I want to be that instructor for every topic I'm teaching, which the students remember. That's my approach for teaching. Getting them a lot of information, make them well-rounded, let them get some educated decisions.
Off-Gassing, a scuba podcast with host Nick Hogel. After being gifted an open water course, Christof Müller began his journey into the underwater world, an environment that would enable him to combine his passion for educating and his drive for learning, a path that would bring him around the world in search of more knowledge to share with future students. Choosing the right tool for the job, e-learning versus in-person learning, creating the best path forward, and much more. Please enjoy. Christof, how are you doing this wonderful morning? It's in the morning for you, correct?
It's in the morning. It's 9:30 a.m. I'm sitting here with too much coffee in the morning, like you maybe again. It's always the same.
Yeah, I don't think you can have too much coffee. Well, maybe if you start getting the shakes or something, but I usually like my coffee pretty strong, so I hear you on the coffee side of it.
Yeah, usually if you see me diving or my students see me, I always have coffee in my hand. You was a project also, and have you ever seen Kim without coffee?
So, what's funny is in Mexico, I ran into a lot of those guys. I interviewed a few of them, but I never actually went to the ProTech facility, which it's something that it is regretful because it's such a known place. It's such a, staple of the cave diving scene down there. And I was right down the road and I should have popped in there, but it was just one of those things. I mean, you know how it goes after a day of diving, you're tired, or, in the morning you're rushing off to go to the cave. So I was just like, oh man, next time I go back, I'll definitely have to take the time and go there. But so where are you currently located right now?
I'm in the southern part of Germany, southwest. It's not a big deal. It's near Heidelberg, where the US forces are, or was. And okay. Nice little shallow, no mountains.
Oh, okay. Are you originally from Germany?
Yeah, I'm originally from Germany, and I still live in the area where I was born. I come back and I like it.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that. Well, I guess so. My first question I always like to throw out, and maybe it's relevant to where you grew up. Maybe there's a lot of diving in the area. I'm not sure, but I look forward to finding out. But the first question I'm sorry. I totally apologize. Christof, welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. I'm just ready to jump right in. I'm ready to jump right in, so I apologize about that. But thank you for taking the time to join us today. My first question that I always like to ask is, tell me how and why you became a scuba diver. Tell me about that first breath underwater. Was it amazing? Was it horrible? I think this is okay. I think I can do it. Tell me all about it.
Maybe a little bit more information about my area and the diving. In my area are a lot of lakes, lake over lake. So before I was 10, my parents sent me out to the lake and go swimming with my friends. Nowadays it's not thinkable that you can do that. But this time, go to the lake, go swimming, have fun. And so I grew up at the water, and it was natural that I always was fishing also. And if you are fishing, you entangle your lures and your baits in water plants. Yeah, and so I was snorkeling and recover them at 10, 12, 13 years of age. Yeah, it was fun. And then I go to the military and I studied and I didn't scuba at all. Yeah, and then at 17, 16 years ago, I get a voucher for a PADI open water class from my family. Okay. Hey Chris, you have to go back to the water. Water is it's your life, yeah. And I start my open water class in October, and it's getting pretty cold at this time.
Oh, I would imagine so. And actually, let me ask this, and I don't know why I have this in my head, but I think like Germany lakes, I think just kind of cold water year round. Is that not true? I mean, I'm assuming it does get warm enough to where you could jump in the water and cool down.
In the summer, it's quite warm. You have 20 degrees plus, but in the spring, in the fall, in the winter, it's getting cold.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you go deeper in the German lakes, you have a thermocline, usually at 6 or 7 meters, 20 feet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then the temperature goes down to winter temperature. So a little bit more in the depths is always cold.
Okay.
It's like winter diving. So yeah, I started my open water class in October. And after my first open water class, I say, nah, you don't do that in the winter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can imagine. So when you started that, I'm assuming just thick wetsuit. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of people start. Just uncomfortable. Like, this is not very much.
Yeah. It was interesting, really interesting. Not really good fitting wetsuits. Your mask was too big and always fogging. So, and I decided, okay, I go make a break over the winter and start in the spring again. And I like it. I really liked it. It was, I'm IT consultant. I'm teach all my life. And usually I have a hard time to stop thinking about my work, about teaching, about my customers. And I go in the water and it's like Zen, it's like yoga, it's like meditation. My head gets clear.
Oh, I agree.
You know that feeling.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That was actually one of the things that led me to start diving more and more and more is I've said it on the podcast a couple times where, I was working in loud machine shops, just loud. Everything was loud all day, like traffic. You're in the city, just loud machines. You get in the water and it's just quiet. And then eventually I started diving CCR and found out how much more quiet it could be. But that's that's a whole nother story. But sorry, I have to ask the cat. What is the cat's name? I she's just right in the background there. I could see. Or is it?
It's Simba. It's
okay. That's a beautiful cat, man. I like how is that her permanent little bed up there?
Yeah. Usually when I teach online some IT classes, the cat looks after me.
It's actually really funny. Yesterday, I had an interview yesterday, and like a few months ago, we got our cat. I have a little black cat. She's not so little. We call her we call her Little Cat. That's her name, but she's not so little anymore. But we got this little bird that when she plays with it, it makes sound and it flaps its little wings. And I actually had an interview last night, and I forgot to turn the bird off. And like in the background, you just hear the cat attacking the bird, and I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry." But if you got a cat, cats are mischievous little creatures. So, but
Okay.
Sorry, off track. I just saw the cat, so I was like, "Hey." When you had that first voucher, was that just for a Discover Scuba Dive, or was that an actual class?
It was an actual class. It was an open water diver.
Oh, okay. And you took the course, but you didn't go back until the following springtime. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I started Surrey, I made the confined water, and I did my first open water dive in the cold water, and then I stopped for the winter.
But when you did it, how was that initial first experience? I mean, obviously it being cold, but was it obviously you went back to it, so I'm assuming you knew that there was something there.
It was great. It was really, really great. It was in a lake, which I know because I was fishing there. And if you're a fisherman, you always look down in the lake and think, hey man, I want to see what's down there.
Yeah.
And that's for me, it was super interesting. Hey man, there are plants, they are not black and white, they're colored, there are fishes. Yeah, it looks beautiful for me.
Talk about the progression from open water. So you made it back in the springtime to do some more diving. Did you know at that point you wanted to keep progressing, or was it something that was just kind of, okay.
I know I like it. I was waiting all over the winter to progress. And I finished my open water. I did the advanced. I did a rescue. I did a dive master over some years. And I worked as a dive master in our local shop. I was the guy who fills the tanks, who carries the tanks. Did a lot of rescue classes with the instructors. then I saw the video from Steve Bogarts, which
Ah.
everybody saw, yeah. And
The famous video, yeah.
the famous video, it was, wow, you can dive like this. And we had a lot of 2E divers in our area. And I think, hey man, doubles, that is the way to go. Because, hey man, I have the legs and I want to see what it is at the isle there. How does it look there? How deep it is. I want to explore our local lakes, and a single tank isn't enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get a set of doubles on my back and thinking, holy fuck, no way. I go to the next shop and bought a side mount system. Yeah.
A question I always like to ask is, when you went from recreational fun diving, you know, you're taking classes for yourself, and then when you transitioned into the professional level, now you're taking on more responsibility, you're looking at other divers. And I know sometimes that mentality kind of happens when people take the rescue course. It kind of changes your way of thinking. How was that transition to you? I'm assuming you enjoyed it because you pursued it in the first place, but it's always a little bit of a transition, right? Like going from, okay, I'm diving for me, now I have to look out for the people that, you know, essentially you're taking on more responsibility. How was that transition?
I have my own little company and I'm teaching nowadays 13 years.
Okay.
So that's 5,000 to 6,000 teaching days. And I counted the number of people I'm teaching. It's something about 30 to 40,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Really, I teach a lot. So I like teaching and I like to make adults progress in the way they want to go. Is it in IT, in software, or is it in diving? So for me, it was an absolute natural to go this way, to help people getting better, get a good diver, learning a frog kick. But I really, really liked it to teach and to help people to get better, especially if you have good divers. I like to have good students, which you can make better. It's like maybe if you have a good wine and you started to progress the manufacturing and to get the easy wine, a really good wine. And I like that.
Yeah.
I really like rescue classes or nowadays fundamentals. It's or technical side mount. I like to help people to get really, really educated, well-rounded divers. That's the way I like to teach. And I'm diving also like this.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Cause I like that, you know, cause I'll be honest for myself, like I didn't know, you know, you walk into the shop and you see the chart, like, okay, open water or discover, and then open water branches out to all the specialties. Top of the charts, the instructor. And I don't know when I was like, okay, I want to become an instructor, but I do enjoy kind of guiding people, pointing them in the right direction, say, hey, you know, this is something you could do this. And I actively taught for about 2 years. I have not taught in quite a while. I'm hoping to get back into it. I keep saying that. I feel like I say that every year, but one of these days it will happen. So you knew right away when you started diving, like you wanted to progress towards the instruction side of it.
Yeah, maybe not in the open water, but really fast. Yeah, that was natural for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I started side mounting, and when I started side mounting, I think it must be 2011 or 2012, so a long time ago.
Okay.
Really, really early adopter, and I have one of the first Europe stealth classic systems, and nobody could help me. So I tried 1 year of how to figure it out, how to get the system working. And then I booked a class at Steve Martin.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't work because a former student of him died and he can't teach me.
Oh.
He has to go back to UK and I ended at Inner Space Explorers. I did my basic explorer. And I liked it. Really, it was hard, it was demanding, it was a little bit like military. and I did my complete way. I did a Tech 1, my DPV, advanced side mount, everything with inner space explorers. And yeah, then I started part-time in a local tech shop in Deep Stop, which is in Europe a little bit bigger online store, and was there the consultant for side mount.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And yeah, so I was dive master, consultant for side mount, and I did my took my full cave class in side mount. I did stage cave, cave DPV, all the way in side mount, and
Awesome.
with Protec in Mexico, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I was hearing about that. Well, actually, I just wanted to ask this question. As a side mount consultant, what were the type of, what was the role? What were you doing? Just kind of people were coming in. Is that, because it's not, is it an instructor or is it just more of,
Consultant, not instructor. At this time, I wasn't an instructor. I was there in the shop. If somebody comes in, hey, I want to dive side mount. Which system do I need? Which tanks? How to set it up? Yeah, and I did also dives with them in the lake or in the pool, more in the lake to show how to use it, how to get in, how to get out, get your tanks flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was or is still my role in this shop.
Okay. Awesome. So actually, I have just a quick question. So you went into side mount and you had one of the early stealth models.
Yeah.
Is that what you still dive today, or what do you recommend? You as an instructor, as a consultant, what would you recommend? Because there's a lot of units out there today, so I'm always kind of curious on. And I dive a stealth myself. It's the only one I've ever been diving. I know the new dive right one, that is it's Nomad. That one's become quite popular. And there's a lot of, the Razor, obviously. There's a lot of them, and then it's not zero gravity, but the Halcyon.
The Halcyon zero gravity.
Okay, it is zero gravity. Okay.
Or contour, depends which model you want.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't mean to make you put a stake down, but I'm just kind of curious if someone walks in and they're like, "Hey, I want to try side mount." Do you have a go-to, or is it more of, "Hey, let's sit down and chat"? What are your goals?
Usually, it's a chat. It's a chat, but at the end, I'm connected with Xdeep. I dive my stealth classic. I'm thinking up to 2020, 2021.
Oh, wow.
And really long time, and it still works. And the only reason I changed to a tech was because I dive a sidewinder and I wanted a bigger bladder. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a good system. Hey, at the end of the day, if you're somewhere in the jungle, you can use your bladder as a pillow.
Yeah.
So
multi-use configuration right there. And then another thing that I'm hearing, and then from like reading your bio, one of the things that I see that I like is, so you obviously have learned from quite a few different agencies. You have a pretty broad spectrum of learning. I like that because you haven't just like, okay, I'm going to stick with this one thing. So currently, what titles do you hold throughout the instructor realm?
I'm a GUE instructor for, it's nowadays, what's the name nowadays? It's the Advanced Open Water Fundamentals and DPV. So Rec 1, Rec 2, Fundamentals and DPV 1 in old terms. And for SDI, TDI, and the normal SDI Open Water with a lot of certifications. For TDI, it's DPV, it's Intro to Tech, and Technical Side Mount. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and navigation primer for GUE.
Awesome. Actually, so the do you know Gideon Liu?
Yeah.
So actually, he was the person I was interviewing last night, and that was when the cat was going crazy.
Yeah.
He's teaching. He's doing a Tech 2 course in the Philippines right now. So it was awesome to be able to grab him. Super nice guy. I mean, that guy's definitely he's been around for quite a while, so it was awesome to be able to get him on the podcast. But one of the questions that I was asking him that I'd like to ask you is, what prompted you, and I know, I feel like I know the answer, but I always like to hear it. What prompted you to go towards GUE, and then how was the instructor process?
I was asked to get a GUE instructor.
Oh, okay.
When it's not so long ago, but at this point you wasn't able to say, hey man, I want to get a GUE instructor. There wasn't a button which you can press and get an instructor.
Yeah, yeah.
You're getting asked, and was asked, and yes, and man, yeah, GUE, holy fuck, yeah. and and that was the first time I thinking about diving doubles.
Oh, okay.
And I get in doubles, and I was thinking, everybody lied to me. Everybody told me doubles is streamlined and flat, and it's great. And I think, if you come from side mount, everything is loose and wide and not streamlined. I make a kick in side mount and glide forever.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do that in doubles, and it's like hitting a wall, yeah. And yeah, but I started the ITC with a German instructor trainer, which is really great. It's Dirk Remers, it's really one of the big diving names in GUE. He set me the right way. So I like to dive doubles really good.
Yeah.
And I just looked today, this morning, I have a video where I was seeing my first attempts in diving doubles, and I was looking at it some years later, yeah, from an instructor perspective, to the first videos when I was diving doubles. I was thinking, hey man, you look good, you was flat in the water, your kicks was fine, your positioning was fine, head was up, all good, yeah. So it wasn't so difficult. And yeah, I started the ITC, and it was interesting because I have to do all again. I did my fundamentals again, I did a Tech 1 again. Everything I learned it again in doubles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and it was hard. Yeah, it was hard. A lot of work. It's nothing compared with I did before. To look at small things for demonstration quality, it's not easy. To show the skill and also have the complete control over your student. Yeah, so nothing happens and he's seen, you can teach him active underwater. So you don't mess around and have to go up and talk, go down, show again. It's a hard progression. I really, really like teaching theory in person. I did that all my business life, and I like teaching theory because you can set a point for educated divers. You show them options, and for me, it's not showing a PowerPoint show. It's like we do now. It's a discussion. Yeah, we talk to each other, and that's fun. And you have a lot of discussions with your students. And if you do it right, you bring them on track. And show them how the way is, why he is, and that's great.
I completely agree. There is so much value in discussing, being able to kind of have a back and forth with your instructor, because obviously a lot of courses, even outside of scuba, are taught all online these days. There is a huge benefit to that also, to be able to do things on your own time, and I'm not knocking online learning, but to be able to have a back and forth discussion. I mean, it's part of the podcast, right? That's one of the things I love about it, is to be able to have a back and forth discussion. But especially in the learning process, I feel like it's such a huge advantage to be, to talk things through. And because sometimes I'll just read something, I might not quite get it, but if I can sit there and have a conversation with someone, they can maybe put it in a different perspective, and it's such a huge value. And it's one of the things. Do you think that is something that is being lost in instruction? I mean, I know they're almost everybody's offering online training these days for theory, obviously not in practice, but what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's kind of being lost with this new age? Which is actually an interesting question, because you're in IT, so you're in computer work, right? So it's what do you think about that? Do you think it's what are your thoughts on that, I should say?
It's a political answer, yeah. I'm thinking not it's a complete bad idea, but I'm teaching so long and with really, really hard classes in IT. And you have people who get the information super fast. You have people who struggle at it. You have gray areas which should be showed, yeah? You have the must know, which is really clear, and then you have a lot of topics which you are thinking, hey man, they are nice to know, and maybe we have the time to talk a little bit more around and give the people more information so they can get an educated decision later on. And that's the point. I'm an instructor for more than one agency, and I see different ways. And have a look. I'm coming to side mount to doubles. The most instructor come from doubles to side mount. It's different. So I see some points in a other way, and I like to show people more than one way. Yeah, it's not black and white. You have black, white, and a lot of gray colors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
And in the theory, you can talk about that. And I never had a class where there wasn't a lot of questions and points. And you have done a GUE class, and you see it's so much fun to make difficult calculations very easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They simplify everything. Yeah.
And have a look. If you're smart, you know your minimum gas. Yeah. So you know the speed you are diving. I usually make a measurement with my students. They know when they're frog kicking in a normal way how fast they are. Then you have Google Earth. You can use Google Earth for the distance and for your bearing. Now you can say, hey man, I have Google Earth, I have underwater maps, I have my minimum gas. Hey, how far do I come in this lake? Can I reach this little island? Can I look around? Yeah, and you can do that on a toilet paper in 1 minute. Yeah, and that's a great thing. And if you only see, hey man, that's a theory, that's your minimum gas, and that's your gas planning, you don't see a little bit more and how to use it really good in practice. And I like to teach that, to see out of the box.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's absolutely huge, and I think that's such an advantage too, because that's in part why I always tell people to seek out different instructors, but to be able to go to one place and kind of get the value of different, you being different instructors with different agencies, you can really show them the value of, hey, there's this way of doing things, side mount, or being able to go in this direction, or go in this direction.
Yeah.
So I guess that's another question I'd like to ask is, so when somebody, and obviously I mean I'm assuming it starts all with a conversation on what the direction that they want to do, but when someone is kind of a on the newer side of the diving, and they're not sure what direction that they want to go in, side mount or doubles, how do you guide that person into which direction that they want to go? I would assume that's got to be quite challenging sometimes.
It is. Usually I say they should try both. They should try a side mount dive with an instructor or another friend who is really good in side mount diving, so they see the right way to do it, and do that also with doubles, so you get a feeling for both. After that, I usually ask, what are your goals? Are you near a big lake with big deep dives, or the ocean where you can walk with your doubles on the boat and jump off the boat? Or have you walk like in our lakes? We have 350 to 400 meters walking from the parking space to the dive site. So do you really want to carry your doubles in the summer on your back this long way on the dry suit? So,
I do not.
Or do you want to dive a scupper flow, which small boats, high waves, currents, maybe side mount isn't the way there. So it's at the end, everything is a tool. Yeah, it depends what you want to dive, and you have gray areas. Yeah, you say, hey man, you're in the lake, it doesn't depend what I'm diving. So I would say dive what you have fun. For me, it's side mount. If I'm free and it's not a tool, I'm dive side mount. It's for me the best way. But it's not for everyone. If you're near a big lake with big dives, hey, take doubles. Maybe also we should look about how big you are, if you're super strong or not, if you're a small person with 40 kilograms, maybe a set of doubles isn't the right tool for you because you're dead before you added water.
I mean, to be honest, if it's like you're saying, if you're free, if it's up to me, I prefer diving side mount more than back mount doubles. And to be honest, I have more time in side mount than I do in back mount doubles. I will go to it from time to time, but usually when I'm going to back mount doubles, it's kind of, I don't want to say the necessity. It's not a necessity, but it's just like, oh, I'm going to go take a course. Let me throw on the back mount doubles. And I guess I like to do it just because, at the end of the day, it is nice to kind of be a little bit more well-rounded. So in case you need to, and there was a time where I was diving side mount. It was off of a boat. It was, there was some choppy waves. It was not very fun. I'm not going to lie. It just wasn't the funnest thing. So the next day I went in back mount doubles. I'm like, this is so much easier. This is way better. Yeah. Just jump on and off the boat. It's definitely a little bit nicer, but I do enjoy side mount. So whenever I can, I definitely dive it as much as possible. So I am curious because you said that, or you were just saying earlier, you went and you did your cave training at ProTech with Kim and Jake. Is that correct? Yes. And you said it was quite interesting. I'm wondering what was so interesting about it. I mean, obviously Kim, very well known. He's has basically legend status in the Tulum area. That he's been there for a very long time. One of these days, I hope to have him on the podcast. I've reached out a couple times. Kim, if you're listening, which he's probably not, it would be awesome to have you on the podcast. But
if you want, I sent him a message for you.
Yeah? Oh yes, I think honestly, I think a couple people have sent him messages. But yes, I will keep trying. I think he would be an amazing addition to have on the podcast. But tell me about the cave training, your time in Mexico. How did that all go?
So maybe a little bit back. When I listened to your podcast, a lot of your names, which was before me, I know in person. Steve Davis did his instructor training in Gozo when I did my Explorer run. So he was intern in my class.
Oh, okay.
And that's also the same. When I go to Mexico the first time, I did my full cave with Kim as an instructor, and Elliot was quite new. He was intern in my class. So a lot of other instructors nowadays joining classes, which I did. So Maria, which was in your podcast also. Yes. I walked in ProTech, and Maria was quite new there and struggled a little bit with a zipper from the dry suit. And I give her some materials and bungees and thing, yeah. So a lot of people I know really good in person. Yeah, but I go to ProTech, did my full cave with Kim and a friend of mine. After that, I did my cave DPV and my stage cave with Kim, and a friendship was natural. So last year I was with Kim on holidays. We did a diving trip together.
Oh, awesome.
And at some point he asked me, hey Chris, what do you think? Get a sidewinder, and we do, after some dives, we make a cave CCR together. And man, okay, let's do that, Kim. I get a sidewinder, and I take a lot of time. I need 1.5 years to get comfortable as far as I want for a cave CCR. I really need time for that. 50 hours, it's quite, for me it was not much time. I need 150 hours to get in a position to say, man, I really want to make a class with Kim as another student and Jake as an instructor to take full everything out of the class. Yeah, I need that time.
Yeah.
And
was that your first CCR? So you learned?
Yeah, it was my first. My first CCR, and I struggled a lot.
Okay. Well, actually, I have to. So I have to ask this. So my first CCR was a side mount unit too. I went with the Fathom Gemini. Obviously, it was modeled after the Sidewinder. When I was researching and looking into rebreathers, one thing that kept coming across was don't start on a side mount unit. What are your thoughts on that?
Depends how good you are on side mount.
Okay.
For me, it's side mount, the normal way for diving. Back mount, it's an alien sometimes for me. I diving blind side mount, I have maybe 1,500 dives on side mount. So it's natural for me to dive a side mount CCR. Yeah, and it worked out. I didn't struggle with the unit. I struggled with things like buoyancy.
I agree. And actually, I like that a lot because I got trained in Mexico. I did my full cave training, and then I got trained on the rebreather. And obviously, there is such an appeal to be able to go into the overhead environment in a rebreather. There's many benefits. There's also much more dangers involved, but there is a huge appeal. And while we were going through the course, it was nice because we were able to go through the cavern, zone as we were doing the rebreather class. It was so mind-blowing to me because I just got done doing the full cave training, going into a cave, and it's just so quiet. And I was like, wow, this adds a whole nother level to this environment. I think that's absolutely amazing that you were like, hey, I'm gonna take the time to do this, because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I would love to do it, but I feel like I'm so far away from that point, and I haven't even. I'm kind of sad to say that I have not been able to dive the rebreather as much as possible. I'm hoping that's going to change this year. Have a few exciting things coming up, but that's for another day to talk about. But tell me about your progression on the rebreather. We just kept going out. What were some of the I mean, obviously you said the buoyancy. What were some of the challenging moments that you had getting up to the point where you became CCR cave certified?
So in an open circuit, I'm really a quite good diver. And if I make an ascent, I stop and I'm stable in the water. So it's like 5-10 centimeters up and down. So, and I'm really stable, so I can solve my problems there. And I got the sidewinder and I started my ascents, and it was, holy fuck, maybe I'm 1 or 2 meters around the stop I wanted to do, yeah? And I struggled with that, I'm honest, yeah? I figured it out, it worked. And then I was diving the unit and diving, and then I got 2 internal booms, which are quite interesting if you have them in real. So they said, hey man, that's scary. I don't want that in a cave.
Yeah.
Until I was really the knowledge about the CCR, understanding the unit. What are you diving? How's it working? What happens if this malfunction hits the fan? Yeah, what should I do? And I don't have to think about it. And practice. Nothing beats practice. I practice really a lot. No fins training. You all see the crazy videos with no fins. And I did that also. There are hours after hours. I trained that. Yeah, to be stable in the water on the sidewinder. And if I stop, I'm stopping here and I can solve my problems. Yeah, if something hits the fan, I'm able to do it on the place where I am. And yeah, I trained that. Yeah, and then I feeling ready and go to Mexico and did the cave CCR with Kim as a student and Jake as an instructor. And that was interesting, man.
Tell me all about that. Tell me all about it.
We had some, man, if you have a zero risk touch contact exit with Kim, and Kim is the motor. Holy fuck, he's faster blind exiting the cave than you are with full visibility, yeah? Because he knows the cave like his own fridge. Yeah, he's super fast. Yeah, but he also did mistakes, yeah? It isn't... Yeah, that's normal. Everybody did mistakes, and usually we have an open debriefing. So everybody who wants can join from the crowd in ProTech.
Oh,
and then you get roasted from Jake. Hey, Chris, what did you at minute 187? I was diving, Jake. No, you wasn't diving, you are dying. Maybe yes, Jake, I was an idiot. I'm sorry. No, it was really, really excellent training. And Jake, it's a perfect instructor in my eyes. And Kim as another student gives another dimension to the training. We have so much discussion, and now we are back at online teaching and in-person teaching. Usually you did a mistake and you talk about that mistake really long. Why did you do it? What was the reason? Nobody gets out of the bed in the morning and say, hey, today I'm doing bullshit. Nobody does that.
Yeah, for sure.
You make bullshit, but there's a reason for it. So let's talk about a reason. Yeah, what happens if you do that? Yeah, so it's a really benefit. And some people I know, they say when we had our debriefing, it was like a Muppet show. You know, the two old grands who were sitting up, and it was Kim and me. We were sitting there, and Jake say, "Hey man, you did that wrong," and then no, there was a reason for that. Yeah, yeah, that was so. It was really, really long days, long days. Yeah, and we figured some points out. What do you do with a lost line if you have no fucking stone or stalactite where you can put your spool out of it? So yeah, you have a sacrificial light. You put a backup light deep in the mud. Yeah, I never did that before, and they put me in a big silty area in somewhere in Mayan Blue, in Backdoor Regina, and yeah, it worked. Yeah, I saw the mess I did after that. It was interesting. Yeah, but you can do that when you have good divers, good students, and that was so much fun. I could recommend it to do a class with Jake. I really recommend it.
I look forward to being able to get back to Mexico. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it there this year. I'll be back in Texas in October, but definitely I'm trying to plan it out to whenever I go back to the States to be able to spend like a week or two down in Mexico, just because I had such an amazing time down there. And you know what's funny, though, is you mentioned about when you don't have something to tie off onto. I never realized it before, but I was chatting with someone that does a lot of mine diving, and they popped that question out at me like, well, what do you tie off to when there's nothing there, right? It's just smooth walls. And I was like, oh, that's a very valid point. I never thought about that. But obviously, I'm not diving in mines. But I could see the differences.
Come over to Germany.
Yeah.
Come over. We have really great mines. They are black and cold. And no, they're fun to dive.
Tell me a little bit about the mine diving in Germany.
It's cold water. It's 7-8 degrees, something about that. So maybe if you come with a CCR, you should also bring heated undergarment. Yeah, the mines in Germany are usually slate mines, so it's dark, and you have a big, good dive light, and the walls eating your light. Yeah, it feels dark, but it's clear water usually, and you see some tools from the miners, some machinery. Yeah, and it's different. It's man-made. Yeah, so you have a feeling like you're in a supermarket, and you go, the next wall goes right, and you go left, and you go right. It's natural. So for me, it's easier navigation than in a spider web like Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a way for overhead diving in Germany. Our only way for overhead diving in Germany. So if you want, come over, and we have some great dives there.
Oh yeah, one of these days I will have to make it over there. There's so many places throughout Europe that I've hear about and I've talked to people about, and I'm just like, man, I really have to make it out there. And I'm not gonna lie, and I've said it plenty of times before, is I don't fare too well in the cold, but it is something that I need to challenge myself with more. And I've been invited to a couple places, and I need to take up people on that, because the cold water diving, I mean, some of the most, I feel like, phenomenal diving environments are cold water diving. Some of the best wrecks that you can see in the world are cold water diving. So yeah, I'll definitely have to make it. So other than mines, is it just mines and lakes? Is that kind of the bulk of your diving in Germany?
That's in Germany, usually mines and lakes. Or some caves if I'm close to the French border, so I could go to France and dive there. But if you're talking about cold water, maybe I don't teach in indoor dive centers. No way. Because if I have a student, they go diving here in our area. And for me, it's different. If you have thick undergarment, thick clothes, you're getting cold, your fingers got numb, are you able to do a valve trail? No? You did it in an indoor dive center? Okay, that's fine for you. But hey, man, I'm training you here, and I'm a friend of train like you fight. So I usually train only in lakes, and I make a stop over December, January, because it got too cold for long sessions training in the water. But otherwise, I teach my people in the cold because I see the benefit from that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. What kind of undergarments are you wearing? Like how thick are they? Obviously dry gloves.
I usually have a heated undergarment from Santi or from Yellow Diving. And yeah, dry gloves and some wool gloves from merino wool, which I really like. And if it gets cold, yeah, then you can get some Santi heated gloves.
What is cold for you?
Cold, it's a long dive at 4 degrees. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't know the Fahrenheit, it's 30, 36, 39, something about that. That's not like diving in the Arctic, but if you make a dive for 2.5 hours or longer in Swedish mines, man, you usually have two independent heated systems
Oh,
because
okay.
imagine you do a long dive and your first system breaks down. You don't want to decompress without a system, so you have a second, you have a backup system.
Yeah. If you could not clear something, because I want to say that I've heard one thing that people will do, and maybe I'm wrong on this, is when they're diving in really cold water and then they have to do decompression, they're sometimes saving the heat element during the decompression. Or are you heated throughout the whole entire dive? Or are you kind of, is it an on off thing? Can you walk me a little bit through that process?
It depends on the dive. If for me, if it's a normal dive, I go out without heating. And at a point before I'm starting to get really cold, I'm start my heating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have it warm in the decompression. If it's an easy peasy dive, really easy peasy, I go in with the with the heating on and stop the dive with the heating on. Yeah, and if it's a demanding dive, which you know it's getting long, you should have a backup. And yeah, so I start. Otherwise, I would dive for cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
from I would start with heating on and have a backup if the first one breaks.
Okay. So you're carrying essentially two like light,
Depends.
not batteries.
Depends. Yeah, I have two batteries. Yeah, I have a light and I have a really big for the heating system.
Okay. And do you carry, because I know, I guess theory, I know from what I've heard, but I have not done any cold water diving. But when you're diving in these cold water environments, the gas that you're putting in your dry suit, that typically is not air, correct?
It is
Oh, wow.
it
Okay.
is. Usually you use argon, but yeah, I tested argon. I didn't see for me a really big benefit. And
Oh, okay.
and you have if you're using a dry suit and use argon, you have to get all the air out. So you have to flood your dry suit with argon, bring all the normal gas and the argon out and flood it again. So you need also a lot of argon. So
Oh.
and I didn't see the benefit of it. So I use air and that works fine for me with a heating system.
Okay, okay. How long do heating systems usually last?
For a dive or lifetime?
Well, just for like a dive, like have you ever had a battery die out on you mid dive? Well, obviously that's why
No.
you have the backup, but like,
Yeah,
is it something that could go for like a few hours,
it
hour?
I have the biggest one. It's something about 40 ampere hours.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
big battery, so it holds 3.5 hours. That's long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. So, what about you? Do you have any trips coming up? Any fun
Um,
diving on the horizon?
I'm going back to Mexico in September,
Oh, awesome,
and
awesome.
I do some dives with Kim, and I'm planning to do the exploration workshop with him.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it's always okay if I'm driving to France into the lot into Rossell, or if I go to Budapest or somewhere else where all the caves are. It's close to the time which takes a flight to Mexico. So diving in Europe or diving in Mexico, it's for me a easy. Yeah, so go to Mexico, have some great dives, great food, see all the guys again, have some fun. That's for me the way to dive. And I also have some friends from Mexico also. A woman from Texas was coming over from, I know her from Mexico, and she was flying from Dallas to Europe to take her doubles class and cold water diving with me.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's a friendship with a lot of people from the project crowd. I really can recommend it to you. Come over next time.
oh yeah,
And
no, definitely. And when you next time you chat with Kim, be like, hey, you really need to go on that podcast.
I sent him a message later on
Yeah,
this day.
I'm totally kidding. You don't have to, but if you do, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
that. So you shouldn't. But no, I'm trying to think. Well, that's the funny thing is, being from Texas, you hear about Mexico a lot, and a lot of people. It's kind of funny because a lot of people from Texas, well, everybody from around the world will go to either Florida or Mexico for cave diving. But a lot of people make that trek from Texas to Florida, but also a lot of people make that trek from Texas to Mexico. And there are quite a few people that definitely go down there. So I guess it's not surprising that you've met somebody from Texas down there, just because, I mean, that's, you hear about that diving in Texas. You're like, oh, the cenotes. And then once you really start getting into it, you hear about the Florida caves. Have you ever ventured over there into Florida?
No, it's the same. Go to Florida or go to Mexico,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's equal, more or less equal in flight time. So yeah, but I should go. I was invited to come over to Florida this May, but I'm full of teachings, so I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe what is it?
and
Every is it every other year they have the GUE conference?
conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Man, I was in so many conventions in my IT time. So yeah, it's really nice for connecting to people, to listen to Tom talkings. But usually, I like go diving when I'm in free and not teaching something. I really like to go diving, and that's my way. And have a look. I have two E instructors who are coming up for side mount training with me. The day before yesterday, I had people who are non-limit remix divers, CCR divers, really experienced people who wanted to learn side mount. So I'm fully booked.
Yeah.
And I don't like to go to a convention. I like to go diving for myself when I'm free.
Oh no, I hear you. Yeah. Is it kind of hard to balance sometimes the teaching side with being able to fun dive and kind of get away from your time? I mean, I'm assuming you make the time, but do you find it kind of challenging sometimes? Because I guess you never want to say no to a course, especially if it's you're making a living off of it. But
Happily, I make my living from the IT classes, yeah, for software classes. And I don't take classes where I don't like the students.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I usually try for every class, I usually try to have a long talking video call with my potential students or make a dive with them to see if it fits. If it
Okay.
don't fit, I don't take the class. So, but yeah, it's still full, and my girlfriend have to suffer from that because she wants to go diving in the weekend, and I'm not able to do that sometimes because I'm teaching. Yeah, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
So I do have to ask, because I think this would be great knowledge to know, what are some reasons why you've turned down somebody for a course? Like, what do you see? What are some red flags that you're like, you know what? Is it like a personality thing? Is it their dry? Like, what do you see that you would say, hey, I don't think we're a good fit?
It's sometimes it's personality. So I'm thinking, hey, these students and I, that didn't work out. That's not an option for us to. We get a beating here. No, it doesn't fit from the personality, and also I don't think there's a sweet spot for every class you can take. Yeah, you need some experience. Yeah, and if somebody comes to me, if you're talking about the old fundamentals in GUE, if somebody comes to me and say, hey man, I have an open water diver with 10 dives, and I dive the first time dry suit and the first time doubles, I never want to take a class with you, a fundamentals class with you with this gear. And I said, hey, no way. Come back, take your time, 100 dives later, I'm happy to teach you, but not with this knowledge at this time, because I can show you something, but after that, maybe we have a big frustration. Yeah, so every class has its time, and you need to progress slowly, get your experience, take another class, but take your time. That's the most reason I don't take people in a class.
Okay. No, I absolutely applaud that because, one thing that I've noticed, and I mean, it's not any big secret or anything, but in the industry, a lot of instructors tend to hit like a burnout stage, right? And I feel that, obviously teaching back to back to back, can get if you do anything back to back to back, you're going to get burnt out. That's just kind of a fact of life. But when you're teaching too much and then you have to take on students that are trouble students and they take a little bit more time to reach that end, but then there's always like the time constraint or, the various factors leading into the stress of the course. But to be able to say, hey, take your time, go away, come back, this isn't going to be a good fit. And that was actually a topic that I was discussing with Gideon, because he was kind of, I was asking, with the standards of GUE, what is it? You have to get 25 dives in between courses. So that
Minimum.
way, so that way you build up, you practice what you learned in the course, you get more time, basically getting more experience. And I think that is a huge thing because, not to agency bash or anything, but there are obviously agencies where, they're going from this course right to the next course and they need a lot more time to learn certain things before they try to progress and task load themselves.
Have a look. Last week I was listening to a podcast with Skander, and Skander was also an English teacher.
Yes,
you remember.
Yes.
And there was one question or one talking about it. There was always one teacher in your high school which you remember, which really was good. And I'm teaching so long, and I see so many. I'm a teacher for teacher. I'm an instructor trainer for IT software, and I see so many teachers who are burnt out, who are not a role model, and I also see that in diving. And for me, I want to be that instructor for every topic I'm teaching, which the students remember. That's my approach for teaching, getting them a lot of information, make them well-rounded, let them get some educated decisions. They have to get it, and for that you need to be a student in the right place, in the right spot, with the experience you need to have for this class. Otherwise you're wrong. And the 25 dives between some classes in GUE are perfect. Maybe in some points make not 25 dives, make 50 hours or 25 hours of diving. Would be, but that would be great if every agency would do that. So give the students time to get the experience and see all the beauty, because imagine you're a cave diver. You make your full cave class and then you go to Bahamas, to Brian Kaguk, and go to the glass factory. You see one of the best places for cave divers on the earth. And now you're burnt. You're burnt for every other cave. Hey, you go to Mayan Blue, nah. You go to Kimha, nah. You go to Francis City Ressel, nah. Because you are burnt. And I see that so often. The students burn through the glasses, and after 3-4 years they stop diving because they have done every class, but they don't see the beauty of diving and the way of what they can do. And so take your time.
No, for sure. It is very unfortunate because, you have this, I don't want to say people are paying their way through, but the person with the kind of unlimited funds, the unlimited times, they're able to just kind of push it, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm over it, and I'm like, man, there's so much to enjoy. Just sit back and, I obviously I use the term sit back and smell the roses, but sit back and enjoy the corals, enjoy the decorations on the cave, because there is so much to be able to see and experience, and to be able to the burnout thing is such a sad thing to see, because I feel that there's a lot of good instructors that have been burnt out either from just working too much or taking on the wrong classes, and it sucks to see, because especially in this industry, not so much every agency, but a lot in the industry, as soon as that instructor is burnt out or they're over it, there's just that new wave coming in,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
essentially
absolutely.
replaced. I don't want to say you're replaceable, but there's always somebody that is ready to work. There's always somebody that's like hungry for it. So to create longevity, actually, that was one of the questions I had for Steve. Is that his name from ProTech?
Yeah,
Steve,
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
to have longevity in this industry,
Mm,
because unfortunately you do see people burn out way too quickly, and then they're just over
mm.
it, and then they're gone, and sometimes it's a huge loss, because some of those instructors are great instructors that could really pave the way and push people to further themselves. So
Yeah, and also a lot of instructors take the easy way at the end. They don't tell the truth for the students. Yeah, and for me, I when I'm teaching people, I say, hey man, now you're diving side mount, or now you're diving doubles with a dry suit and a heating system, and you do the same dive which you can do with a single tank. Why? Yeah, there's a reason for training. Quite true, I do that also. But man, you're the Great Lake. Look there, there's an island. Have you ever tried to dive there? It's a long way. Yeah, so you have to navigate. Look what's underwater there. If you do the same dive, right shoulder, turning, left shoulder, get out of the water, why do you dive in doubles?
yeah,
Why do you dive in a CCR? Yeah, that's that's also part of an instructor. If you're doing the easy way, I say, hey man, that's a class. Give me the money. That's a certification, and have fun. High five. That's not a way which I would say the industry should work. Yeah, you should be honest to your students in a good and a bad way, and give them some mentorship, some inspiration about what you can do with the gear. And it's not always, hey man, now you can frog kicking and back kicking. Yeah, but do you use it? Do you use it in a way where you can look for it? And that's, yeah, hopefully a lot of people do that.
yeah, no, for sure. I think that's such great advice. And speaking of advice, I have one last question for you before I let you go. And I know we've kind of hit on a lot of points, but maybe we could just summarize it towards the or in the end here. My question to you is, you are somebody that has been teaching for a long time. You teach the teachers. You are guiding future instructors. What is the best piece of advice that you could give to somebody that is looking to become an instructor? They're looking to be that guidance for other people. From all the things that you have seen, what is the best piece of advice that you could give to the future instructors out there?
Take your time. Take your time. And if you really want to be a good diver, find a solid team. Don't change your buddies too often. Find a team which you are diving with, train with, suffer with him. Yeah. So if I look at my personal diving, I have a buddy team which I'm diving the last 15 years. Every Wednesday. Yeah. So we did a lot of divings together, and I can test some things with them. Hey man, can you look at me? I want to train. Yeah, so we start diving, make a little bit of training, go to dive, see the beautiful underwater, train at the end. So you can teach your own diving, which you can show your student also something. Yeah, you're not only go in the water and train like hell, or train in the pool all the time. So take your time. I was teaching teachers for schools, yeah, for software. Usually I say them, you should love what you're doing. If you don't love teaching, why do you teach? Yeah. Do you teach only for the certification, or because you don't want to change your job? You should love what you're doing, because if you don't love what you're doing, the students see it. They notice it. You're not the English teacher. You're not the Microsoft teacher, which I really teach a lot. You're not a Microsoft teacher which gets in history with a student. They don't remember you. Or if they remember you, they always remember you as a bad teacher.
Yeah. That's the worst way to be remembered. No, for sure. I love that, man. No, that's really good, because the last thing you want to do is to be the teacher that somebody doesn't want to be. And I used to say that all the time. You know, every instructor I've ever had, good or bad, I always try to take something from it, even if it's something that you're like, okay, I learned what I don't want to be, or I learned what I don't want to do.
Okay, that's good.
You know, and I mean, because essentially it's like, it's sad to walk away from a course that you paid for, you put your time into, and not get anything out of it. So no matter, like, anytime I go and take any course these days, I'm like, I'm getting something out of this, regardless if it's good or bad. And even if I learn that's something that I don't want to do, I'm still taking that as a learning point, because, and that's actually, I tell people that's a valuable thing, is to learn the bad things that you don't want to do. It saves you a lot of time in the future. And hopefully good instructors teach you that sort of thing too.
I'm thinking the point of Skanda, there's always one good teacher where you remember, and you should be that.
Yeah.
If you want to be an instructor, for me, I'm only instructor in diving. I'm instructor trainer in software. So you want to be the one instructor which your students remember and have good memories at you. That should be the target. If you don't want that, don't do it. That's awesome. My point.
No, I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Christof, once again, I absolutely appreciate you coming onto the podcast. This has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. And I will have to, one of these days, take you up on that offer, come to Germany, do some diving. And if anything, maybe we'll catch each other in Mexico at some point.
Yeah, it would be great, man. Yeah? Let's stay connected.
Off-gassing, a scuba podcast.